This is the briefing from Transport Topics for November 3rd. I'm Esmeralda Leon. Discover the full potential of your fleet with IQ Cruise. This isn't just cruise control, it's seamless integration, up to 9% fuel savings, and real-time insights. Easy for drivers to adopt, proven to perform. Drive smarter, drive IQ Cruise. After 4 decades of providing software to the trucking industry, McLeod is now integrating artificial intelligence into its transportation management systems. TT Managing Editor Seth Clevenger sits down with McLeod Software CEO Tom McLeod to find out why the company is incorporating AI into trucking software and how it will work for carriers and brokers. Catch the latest Road Signs podcast at ttn.ws/episode 179. Now let's dive into the day's top stories. Now that some of the squabbling between China and the U.S. has died down after the summit and deal between Donald Trump and Xi Jinping, is the U.S. better off than it was in January? 3-digit tariffs are off the table, but import duties on each other are higher than at the beginning of Trump's second term. Rare earth materials will flow more smoothly, but China has put in place an export permitting regime that it can tighten or loosen as needed. Port fees will go away, but only for 1 year. Eswar Prasad, an economist at Cornell University, said, quote, "It is hard to see what major gains the U.S. has made in the bilateral relationship relative to where things stood before Trump took office." End quote. Closer to home, Trump said on Friday that he received an apology from Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney over a television ad that opposed tariffs. But he suggested that trade talks between the two countries won't restart. Asked by reporters whether negotiations between the White House and Carney's government would resume, Trump said, quote, "No, but I have a very good relationship. I like him a lot. But you know, what they did was wrong. He was very nice. He apologized for what they did with the commercial." End quote. Earlier Friday, U.S. Energy Secretary Chris Wright said the goal is for the U.S. and Canada to return to the table after talks broke, and for the countries to cooperate more closely on oil, gas, and critical minerals. On Wall Street, earnings reports continue to pour in for the third quarter. Amazon posted higher profit and sales compared with a year ago, fueled by accelerating growth in its cloud computing business and strong spending by its customers, looking for low prices at a time when inflation is resurging. XPO posted an increase in revenue to more than $2.1 billion despite taking a bottom-line hit due to legal costs tied to its 2015 acquisition of less-than-truckload carrier Conway Freight. View full earnings stories across a range of companies now on our website. That's it for today. Remember, for all the latest trucking and transportation news, go to the experts at ttnews.com.
Spoken Layer.